Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Just gonna set myself up on my other screen here so I can see your comments. Welcome, welcome. And there we are. Hooray. I love when stuff works. Excuse me, got myself a tickle. All right, we're gonna get right into it. Welcome to the Scrap and Stamp Facebook page. I'm Allison Cope, and today we're going to talk about belly bands. Yep. What is a belly band? Well, basically, you have a card that doesn't like to stay closed, like this. And because it doesn't like to lay closed, hi Teresa, it's ideal to slip on something fun to kind of hold that card closed. And this is called a belly band. And of course, nobody wants a boring belly band, so we're going to make some cute ones. This stamp set is a My Favorite Things stamp set, and it is called Perfect Friends, and this is available in the Scrap and Stamp website. And we're going to use some Catherine Pooler inks and some Copic markers. Big surprise. But we're going to finagle and make something else. So Teresa, since you're here, would you like me to start off with a card base and we'll work our way up to the belly band to match? What would you like to do since you're here? You get to decide for today. I'm going to grab my Score Pal buddy and a piece of paper. Excuse me. I know Teresa's probably writing something. So I'm going to use the same color scheme. We might just trade up. That sounds good to me. Okay, we're going to start with a card base. I'm going to use the Heffy Doodle Perfect Day stamp set. So we're going with the kitty theme today. But we're going to use something different. Okay, I'm going to set these aside for the moment. Now, I wanted to show you this trick. So this is the Score Buddy made by Score Pal. And there's a little trick to this machine if you don't know about this. So if you look, there's guidelines at the top here, okay? If you look, there's a dot right there, and there's a dot right there. If you use those two dots without moving your card, so bam and bam, that gives you a perfect card base, okay? But you don't always have to have even panels. So for instance, these two panels are even in size. For this type of card, they don't have to be even. So today, for this card, because we are doing this live, we're going to change it up a bit. We're going to make them uneven. Okay, still the same style of card, but the card won't be centered. Okay, I just wanted to show you that you can absolutely not have this style of card, and you can absolutely change it up a bit. Okay, so to do that, I'm just going to pick a random number here. We're going to go 2.5 for one of the side panel or one of the front panels. And the idea now is an A2 card is 4 1/4 across. So we need to do 4 1/4 across. So we can skip 1, 2, 3, 4, and the quarter actually sits outside. So that's okay. We'll figure this out. Another way you can do this is line this up at the 1 mark. I'm just lining the score line and we'll count over. 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4. Okay, so what that basically does is that 4 1/4 is now the back of your card, hence your A2 size card. Okay, this is how you can absolutely do this. I like to use my other bone folder for this. So again, you'll see our panels. Our panels are uneven. You could do fat side on the left or the right, it doesn't really matter, but that's what we're going to use. I wanted to show you that. Okay, now the next thing that we need to do is we're going to do something on the front. So I need not only something to hold my card shut, and I'm going to do the full length. So this is Heavy Doodle memo tape. This is fantastic for masking, but it also acts as something to hold things closed. Okay, we're going to bring in my trusty dusty copy paper. I'm going to bend these back, and they're going to help just keep my card in place, basically. Okay, I have a little schmoots on the outside here, so just using my good old white eraser. Can never go wrong with a white eraser. Okay, so on my original one, I did some blending of our inks. So I'm just trying to think what else we could do. That's a little bit different, and we're going to use our kitties. Just trying to think what I could do here. There's a whole bunch of little teeny stamps in this one, just like this one here. So there's a food dish, a little wrapped fish, another fish, probably some spilt milk, the word meow, little couple of cups for the kitties to knock off, that kind of thing. So just trying to think, maybe we will do some masking. Okay, so I'm going to pull out another piece of my Heavy memo. We're going to pull in a trimmer. I always try to kind of change these up from my examples, just so that you guys get a different experience. Okay, so thank goodness for trimmers. I'm just going to slide this underneath. You can absolutely use whatever trimmer you have. I am going to, of course, hope that this cooperates. I'm going to line this up at the 3/4 inch mark. Come on, little fella. Okay, there's one. This thing does come out, so you can actually help yourself out. I'm just going to do the next one as a random width. Okay, and don't chop off your plastic piece. Is this one a little bit different? No, we'll cut that one in half. Okay, there's another random size, and then we'll cut this last piece kind of random here too. We will do a 1/2 inch. The 1/2 inch mark on this particular trimmer is right on that metallic guideline. Sometimes you have to take off the guard because things stick. Okay, so we just have a variety of strips here. Come on, little fella. Okay, so I think we'll do some diagonal stripes on this one today. I'm going to set this aside so it's not in the way. We're going to pull in our color palette of Tiara, Orange Peel, Pink Champagne, and Sangria. And we're literally just going to do a random stripe. Okay, so I'm just going to pick an angle here, and that's just going to mask off one edge, and then I'm just going to pick a random width. And let's start with our lightest color, Tiara. And we're just going to use a blending brush for this. Oh, and I have to tell you guys, I tried out some brand new blending goodies, and you guys are going to be amazed. They are going to be on order in the shop soon, I would imagine. And to me, they're kind of life-changing because the amount of ink that I got out of these particular little blending materials was truly amazing. So when they come to the shop or when they're on their way, I will show you guys this product because I truly was astounded. Okay, there's our little tiara. Whee! And we're going to do some overlapping. So I'm going to take this piece of masking paper and we're going to take a little bit and have it showing. And then I'm going to bring in the wider one just so this makes this job easier. And I'm just going to pick random width. Okay. Then we're going to go to our orange peel. Okay. Making sure that everything's tight and down. Now, if you do notice, I have a little bit of a gap between my panels. I'm okay with that. It's because I cut down the cardstock a little tiny bit and I cut it down a little bit too much. But that's okay. Okay. We're going to make this pattern very, very simple. Very, very simple. So that we can get on to the belly band aspect. Okay, I'm going to turn my tape around so that I'm not in the orange side of it. And we're going to make this one fairly large. I'm trying to, what you can do is go like this. Okay, there's your strip. And then you can go in with your secondary. This is a tip to make sure that your angle is always identical. Okay, and I got eraser fuzzies in there. Okay, this time we're going in with our pink champagne. It's kind of like a dusty rose color. Whee! Doesn't have to be perfect. Handmade card. How's your date going, Teresa? Okay, let's go in with our final color of sangria. And let's do a fairly thin line this time. Yeah, this is Heavy Duty Memo tape, and it is a paper-based. It works very, very well for masking because it takes ink. Sometimes you have a product that it beads ink, and then you get yourself into problems. So I highly recommend this. It's a great width for also doing masking. Like if you want to make masks for making scenes or stuff like that. Highly recommend it. Okay, now this is what happens when you ink over a wet surface. Sometimes your masks don't want to stay, okay? So you can try a dry one and just make it longer so that it's off the paper and down, like sitting down on the ends. Okay, sangria is very, very rich in color. Very, very pretty. And it depends on how much you want to add, how little. If you want a little bit of a richer add and not so much, you don't really want to work for your color, use a sponge-based applicator. So like a Tim Holtz blending tool, something like that. Brushes are meant to kind of start soft and work at intensifying the ink. So it takes a lot more power to use a brush, but it's just easier for today. You're at the office today. That sucks. There we go. So just something very, very simple. Okay. We're going to kind of tidy up here. I keep these if they don't have a dark color like the sangria, then I will reuse them. I don't tend to use the dark colors because for whatever reason sometimes they transfer. So I don't like that. Or it just makes a hada. Alright, we're going to use kitties. Let's bring our kitties in here. So, hoi! Sometimes they get stuck in the packaging. Alright. Just debating on... let's put some fishies maybe on the back. I'm going to pull out my tiny little blocks. They're one of my favorite blocks to use, especially this one. This one is a Catherine Pooler ink block, acrylic block, and I tend to use it a lot. So I don't want to put anything over top of my modified rainbow. Actually, I will bring in my paper again. Just because if I happen to stamp off the card, then I have protected. I don't have to clean my surface because I'm lazy. Okay, we're going to use the new slate. This is a fairly new color for Catherine Pooler. It is a nice slate gray. And we're just going to... I haven't used the stamp set, so I'm just going to make sure that it stamps really nice. And just be careful with something like that. See how I have ink in the corner? You have to be very careful you don't tilt that and stick that corner to your surface. So be careful. And we're just going to stamp random fishies all over the white part. And don't forget to do some overlap. And I really pressed that one in apparently, because it's extra inky. Be careful with that. And make sure when you're doing something like a background that you rotate your elements. It makes it more interesting and more realistic as a pattern paper might be. Upside down, right side up. Don't forget to stamp them off of your card or surface because it just makes them look like it was pattern paper. Go back up here. And you could just do it on one side too, like just on the upper part, whatever kind of floats your boat. There we go. Maybe another little face down there. Oh, maybe another one here. I'm just trying to make them even. So, yeah, don't do that if you can avoid it. Because you get yourself into trouble. Okay. Shall I do fishies on the bottom? Yay or nay? Shall we do fishies on the bottom? You don't have to. Oh, there's a mouse in here too. We could have put mouse and fishes. There's a little teeny mouse. I didn't even see him. We could do mice on the bottom. Alright. Yes? Okay, on the bottom. So again, just random little fishers. I know, I should have, well, we can put that on the belly band, is what we can do. We could put a little mouse with a kitty on the belly band. Or kitties, we'll have to decide that. Again, rotate your image. Oh, bless you, buddy. Oh, goodness. My little Marley's sleeping in the chair. Just kind of a couple feet from me here. I had my kitty Tico in a cage upstairs because she's been a naughty girl. And she escaped. I don't know how she fit her body through the gaps, but she did manage to escape. And we're going to do, don't forget to go across that gap too. That always makes it look more interesting. Okay. Doing good. Lots of fish. Lots of fishies. We're just making it continuous here. Like we could have done mice, absolutely. All right, let's get her done, Allison. Upside down fishies. Oops, that one's not quite printed. I'm okay with that. Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know. Just you and I. Who doesn't love a little wrapped up fish? Oh, that one didn't go too well either. Oh well. No biggie. Handmade card, not Hallmark. Right? Handmade, not Hallmark. Okay. Take 2 seconds. Clean off your stamp. Because otherwise I'll put my elbow in it and then it'll be on my card. Or I'll put my finger in it and it'll be all over the card. Okay. Reveal. Oh, something kind of weird. But I'm for it. Okay. Now, the one thing. Now, so what I did is I took a strip, and it can be any thickness that you want. And this is that traditional score mark. So the score mark that I showed you on the Score Pal, that's what these lines are scored at. No one will know but me. Yeah, nobody will know. Nobody will know. So I scored this panel, and it's probably 1.5 inches or so. And this is what we're going to use for our belly band. So this is where we get to decide. Actually, no. Haha, I lied. I forgot. When making belly bands, they need to be a little bit extra in size. So this one is, I just backed off, like, this would be 1/8 of an inch. So this is marked at 2 and 6.5. So what that means is that it is a little bit wider than the card so that you can slip it on and off easily. Okay. Now there's other ways to do this instead of slipping on your card, on your, like your belly band on your card. Sometimes I use Velcro, little micro Velcro dots. And sometimes I even put them on the front like this. So that pretty band is not disrupted at the back. There's no joint. We can hide the joint up here. Very, very easily. So first of all, let's kind of put this joint together. There's all kinds of ways. So I'll bring in my examples here. This one, I used just a die cut oval. This one, I used a little tag. You can use whatever you want. Shall we find a pattern paper that will work? Because this one has a pattern paper. This one, I just used Copic markers and made my own striped paper. That was fun. I did kind of grab some papers that might work. Might be able to find a yellow. Let's see if we can find if a yellow works. Sometimes it's not the right color, so you just kind of have to work with whatever. And you just have to say yay or nay. Like, that's really bright in comparison to our other yellow. And this one is quite limey. So it's not quite the same color. We could go orange. Oranges tend to be a little easier to match. That's pretty darn good. So maybe we'll go with an orange band. Okay, you have to stay there, little fella. Okay, so orange, I like that. I like that. Okay, so this is 1.5 inches, so let's just cut it under 1.5 inches. And we're just going to put this on the front of our card, not wrap it all the way around, because we're just making this easy on ourselves. So this is 1.5 inches. We're going to back it up by 1/8. So we get a little bit of a border, a white border. Okay. And we're going to literally just glue it on right across. So the other tool, again, you can absolutely use, this is an old piece of heavy memo tape. I keep them around for a bit. Okay, and then we can just glue it across. I am going to put maybe the yellow on top and the orange towards the bottom. Yeah, okay. So we're just going to take our adhesive. I'm just going to use my ATG gun today. So this is going to stick down all that stuff right across. And we're just going to trim it. Okay. Let's spin this around here. Okay, I'm just making sure that we're up to the edge here. We're going to hide that gap, don't worry. Okay, and then we're just going to take our good old scissors. Trim this right along the edge. Okay, and of course you can take out this piece of tape that it was just your holder. Okay, so we do have a gap. This is very easy to fix though. So this paper was Craft Consortium. This was Over the Rainbow. It's also available in the shop. Love this paper. I love Craft Consortium stuff. Whoever designs their papers is freaking awesome. Okay. Now, I have examples using vellum. So this one has kind of a vellum edge. What if we did some kind of shape and then back it with vellum? How's that? Something a little different. We can do, Teresa, do you have any recommendations of what you'd like to see? A tag, a circle, a square, something like that? Any suggestions? Not my favorite card. Any suggestions that you'd like us to use? I'm going to stick these out of the way. I thought I was going to use the multiple kinds today, but apparently not. And then we'll get looking at our kitties. Our cute little kitties. A circle. Okay. I have circles very, very close. Good. Circle it is. So I'm going to pick 2 sizes because we're going to do one in vellum. And we're going to do one in paper. So that's, yeah, we'll do this one. This one and this one. Okay. All right. I'm going to set you where you're not going to disappear. Let's do our vellum first. Whee! Bring in my vellum. I like having this on hand. I don't know if my scraps, will my scraps fit? Not quite. Okay. Vellum piece. Use our heavy memo tape to cut our circle. This would be cute, like with a scalloped circle, I think, but I'm not sure where my scalloped ones are. They're a little bit more buried. All right. Keep the extra. Oops, that's not going to go back in there. Okay. Good old vellum cuts like a dream. Okay, we need a white one. So I'm just going to grab my cardstock here. Okay, I think I can fit it on this spare piece. I always keep, like, especially white cardstock, I always keep, like, my scraps, like if I do fussy cutting from an image or anything like that, because white and black are the ones that I typically are going to reach for again. And if I have, like, a small image, then I can take that scrap piece of paper, stamp it on, and use it. Don't waste it. Okay. 1, 2. All right. So now we have kind of our focal item. Okay, this is working. Okay, I'm digging this. It's going to be a very interesting card. I don't know if I like that paper, though. I don't know if it goes well enough. Okay, on to the next one. We need to kind of figure out, I like the happy birthday. So if we put happy birthday and then a couple of kitties, how does that sound? Let's do that. Okay, we need a Misty. Now with circles can be a booger. So do actually take a second and adhere this inside your tool, because I always have them move. They always seem to rotate. So be very cautious. Okay, so we're going to leave room for kitties up above. We're going to do happy birthday, just because that's adorable. Yeah, see? Already did it. Make sure it's good. Okay, put my... Sometimes the magnets just quite aren't enough. Okay, we're going to use slate so that it goes with our little fishes. And we're going to go one more time. There we go. Okay. A little tidy. Okay, there's our happy birthday. Now we need to bring in a piece of paper because we are going to, I think we'll fussy cut out our meow meows, if you're okay with that. So now we have to figure out what meow meows. Now we could actually, let's use 3, and what we can do is build them into one image, then fussy cut them out and pop them up. Okay, let's do that. So we're going to have to do some masking. So I'm going to show you some modified masking. We need, he's so cute. I think we need him. I kind of like this, although he's hanging up on a shelf. So maybe this guy and this guy. So we just have to set up a scene. I'm going to do this guy in the middle. This is kind of the sitting one. Let's do him first. And I am going to use slate because I'm trying to keep everything the same. If I bring in another color, like even a black will look weird. Okay. So this is where your scraps can come into. So technically, I probably want a full kitty on this side. So this is where your Heffy memo tape comes in. You can, this doesn't have to be a perfect stamp as long as you can kind of see it. All right, so not everybody likes fussy cutting. I actually quite enjoy fussy cutting. The secret to fussy cutting is move your image, not your scissors, and cut right into that line of that kitty, not on the outside of the line. Go like right kind of down the middle. Of course, the fatter the line, the easier it is. But the secret is to cut into that line so that when you place your paper mask on, there's a little touch of that outside line. So if you've ever done masking where you've cut your mask like a little bit too far on the outside of the line, you get these parts where your ink has not touched the other image, so you get like a gap, and you have to go in and either use a pencil crayon or a fine tip marker, and you have to fix those connecting lines. You're like, oh, what a pain in the tushy. Well, if you cut into that black line, what it does is it leaves a little bit of that black line on the outside, so that gap isn't there when you stamp the items on either side of it. I hope that makes sense. Hi, Anita. Nope, never too late, honey. Okay, we're just stamping a cluster of kitties. Okay, we're going to use this guy. Oh, I want to do this guy first. Okay, so I think like he's kind of leaning, right? Like he's a leaning dude. So we're going to put him kind of leaning against his furry little friend. And because there's enough of a gap, we can put the other Meow Meow on and stamp him at the same time. Okay, so stay. Good kitties. Tico! Oh, man. You need to go back to your cage, little girl. Okay. She's being naughty right now. I can actually see her from my desk. She escaped earlier, and I should have put her back in. Yes, naughty girl. Okay, I'm just doing 2 because it needed a little extra. Okay. Okay, quick wipe. Okay, on our kitty reveal. Meow Meow reveal. Set that aside. Okay, so this is always the fun part, right? Ta-da! Okay, we are now... I've actually pulled Copics for the color scheme. So instead of doing a traditional kitty colors, we're going to do fun, interesting, different kitty colors. So I think what we'll do is we'll do the center Meow Meow. We'll do her yellow. So we're going to use the orange to get a little bit of shading or shadow for her first. So I'm just kind of underlining those areas. I'm just trying to figure out whether, yeah, I'll do underside. We'll do a little teeny underneath her mouth and just a little tiny bit around her eyeballs. Oh, we should probably do her paws. Okay, we're going to go in with the yellow. Oh, she is. She did that exact same naughty thing right in front of me and my husband last night. And I don't know why she's doing it. She's peeing in the basement. Like, my room is in the basement. Now, mind you, we have no carpet, no nothing. Like, it's basement cement floor. And she's peeing outside the litter box. Like, she was like 3 feet from the litter box. She can see it while she's peeing. So it's very, very annoying because I can't figure out what's going on. She doesn't have an infection. We know that for sure. She's just, I don't know what the heck's going on with her. Like, she's 15 and a half. Like, she's not a young girl anymore. So it's just very discouraging when you're trying to have her not do that, basically. Okay, so this is an RV34, and we're going to have a pink kitty. Now, what we can do to make our kitties kind of look like stuffed animals versus real kitties, because real kitties aren't this color, right? At least not in kitties I've seen. We can add some stitch marks to them, and it just adds to the cute factor. Don't forget the tail. We're going to do ears, chin. We'll do a little tiny bit up into that facial area. We'll do a little under the ear here and underside. And we're going to do a little bit of paw stuff too. Okay. This one I'm going to find the color below it. 1 second. Okay. This is going to be an RV32. And we're just going to color in the kitty. So I've done this with teddy bears too, or pandas, or other animals. So if you don't want to color them realistically and you want to make them more whimsical, then put some little stitch lines. And once we're done coloring here, it's super, super easy to do. I recommend just a fine-tipped marker, and because you're not coloring over top, you can use whatever marker you want, or a pencil crayon will work too. I'm going to give little bloopers. This one's hiding, apparently. I'm going to go back and do beep, beep. Okay. Now, I'm going to find the color below this. RV66. Actually, this one might work better. Hang on. I always test my marker and then test my other color. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So, let's do our shadows first. On our little meow meows. I'm going to go above the meow meow's eyes. Oh, you know what? We forgot the meow meow's tail. I'm going to have to go back and get the meow meow tail. Okay. Ears. You forgot the meow meow tail. You could also do striping and stuff like that on them too. Oop, wrong end. Can't believe I forgot his tail. That's sad. Don't want to color over it because it's got to be orange, right? Okay. That doesn't matter. Going over the nose, it's the same color pretty much anyway. Okay, here we go. Very, very simple kitties, like super simple. Okay, we need to go back in. Can't believe I forgot the tail. It's like almost super orange, that's okay. Blend it with the yellow. Okay, so I'm going to bring in a Copic fine liner. So you can get these in all different widths, but this one is like hair thin. So let me show you. See how, you guys probably can't even see me, but it's hair thin. So you can actually put details. So let's see, there's going to be little stitch marks down kind of like the arm. We'll do stitch marks kind of down the front of the legs. We need to do down the paw on this side. Do the same on the other paw. And then we're going to do kind of across the top of the head. Put a few even just on the top of the ear. Could do a little bit on the mouth even. And even on the tail. Again, this just adds to the whimsy. Okay, we need to do this little bubby. And again, if you make them all stuffed animals, then they're all stuffed animals, right? Hee hee. You could actually do like patchwork versions too. Draw little patches on them. On the hippies. I'll do a little bit on his tail. Just trying to think. Maybe just down the outside of the paws for this one. And we're going to do this little fella. We'll do down the front to the schnoz, ears, down his chest. I mean, the arms will be attached a little bit differently, but you know how it is. It's not supposed to be perfect. It's handmade, not Hallmark. Okay, and I think what we'll do is we'll darken their eyeballs too. Sometimes that helps with depth. This is not the pen to do it with, though. It needs to be a little bit thicker. Okay, so I'll hold this up. And of course your recipient is going to be able to look at those little fellows. So yeah, they're now stitch marks. Okay, let's cut these little fellas out. Because now we're going to put the cute on the card. They would be really cute if they had patches on them. Like I would go ahead, if I was going to do that, I would draw the patches on first. And then I would know where to color. So you could have like patches of all the different colors on your card, on your BBs. And they could all be cute and patchy and adorable little stuffies. So again, I'm fussy cutting. So same with doing your masks. You want to move your image, not your scissors, because you put your scissors in a comfortable spot and then you move whatever you're cutting out. The other thing, trying to make a smooth cut is to make the longest cut possible. So if you start, say, at the base of that kitty's tail, like I just did, start it at the deepest part of your scissors and just continue to collapse your scissors, and this just makes for a smoother cut. The more that you stop and start and pull back those scissors, the less likely you're gonna have to deal with like seesaw marks on the outer edge of your cut. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, the stitching just adds something different, right? It just makes them more whimsical, and it takes out that factor of I don't want to make them look realistic, if that makes any sense, right? Because a stuffed animal could be anything, any color, any pattern. So when you put the stitch marks in, it just says, I'm a stuffy. It's like telling a story. And I like to tell myself that when I'm making cards. It's like, I need a story. This is my story. It just helps with the feeling and the overall theme. And I'm sorry, this fussy cutting does take a little bit of time, but by putting them together as a cluster and taking the time to mask them, I'm only having to cut out one image instead of 3 separate, like if I were to do that. Now, mind you, I don't have to cut along the line. I could have absolutely cut with a border around them, but I'm trying to get into those edges if I can. And I'll show you a trick to making them a lot more finished looking. I might have to pull out a piece of dark paper to show the contrast, but that's, I'll show you why I do this next trick. Okay, perfect. Okay, kitties are now cut out. I need a dark piece of paper. We'll just pull out the pattern paper. Okay, this is why I do my next trick. Okay, so I might have to bring you in a little closer. All right, so if you look at it very closely, and this is a me thing, not a everybody thing, there's white edges that are showing around those cuts because my paper's white on the inside. So it's going to show on the outside. So if you take, and I don't recommend doing Copics, but it's all I have. I tend to use the W's. And if you color all of the edges in a dark marker, or a marker that's close to whatever the ink you use, like your outline ink, you go around, that white edge. What it does is it gets rid of the white edge and it looks more professional. You don't have that white edge showing against your card. Now, this is just me being me. And always make sure, and this is the reason why I colored the back of it, always have your image pointed away from the pen. So I'm coming at it from the back because you don't want to be drawing on your images. Been there, done that, don't do that. So you can just take that marker, and they don't recommend that you use Copics. Memento has this really nice black marker that works really well. And it doesn't bleed. You just have to be aware that Copics like to suck into the paper. So that's why they don't recommend using Copics. Okay. All right. Let's pull this sucker back in. I wonder, oh, there it is. Okay. So let's start by mocking this up. Let's put this together. Now, because it's a belly band, and yes, you might see the back of it, I'm not going to fuss about the fact that once you pull the belly band off, there's a possibility you can see the tape on the back. Again, it's handmade, not Hallmark. You know, this is made out of love for somebody special. Yeah, don't even worry about it. See, look at her little bubbies. Okay, so we want to attach this. And I think what we'll do is we'll go off center. Okay, we'll go this side. And I'm just debating on whether I like this or not. I'm not 100% sold on it, believe it or not. I like the kitties. I just don't like the color of that band. I wonder, I don't think you can always mount another color on top and just have a pipsqueak of a color show through. It's not close enough in bright color purple to use that one, and I'm not sure if there's a close enough purple on this one either. It's more on the red side. It's easier just to flip through them. Yeah, see, it's more bluey. Okay, so here's our fix. Again, not 100% happy on our band, so we're going to make one. Okay. So, okay, that'll work. I am going to cut it down to size. So this is what happens when I make cards. I may have kind of an idea as to what I'm doing in my head, but it doesn't always work out because like we're doing right now. Like I thought the yellow would look okay, but I'm not 100% happy, but we can fix it. It's not a big deal to fix. So because we don't see a lot of that purple, that sangria, let's do a sangria. I'm going to pull in my magical paper here. I'm going to put some adhesive down and stick some skin cells to it because that always works. Okay, so I have my sangria. I'm just trying to think. If I have a fun, do I have a fun stencil that we can use? Okay, I'm just going to pull this one. Okay, this is the Gradient Diamond stencil by Catherine Pooler, and it's just what I grabbed. Okay, and it's kind of a funky diamond shape. Just trying to think. Maybe we'll go this away. And this piece is larger than I need, so I can just put it wherever I want. We're going to use some memo tape just to hold it down on the sides. And then I think what we'll do is we'll intensify the diamond aspect. So we'll do this nice and dark. Whee! Hopefully my desk and my camera aren't shaking too bad. Don't want to make you motion sick. Okay. So I hope that you guys do the same thing, is that you have a card idea in mind, and it's okay if it doesn't end up to be that in the end. As long as you're happy with it, then that's all that matters. Okay. All right. I always love the reveal. Okay, so we're going to knock it down just a tiny bit. So I'm just going to take my brush and just put a soft gradient of color across that. So it just knocks the white back just a bit. Still the same color, because you're still using the same ink, but it just de-intensifies, if that's a word. Okay, and this time we're going to find the sweet spot. So I'm just going to put adhesive right across. And then we're going to finagle it and trim. And again, this is exactly what I do with my cards. Sometimes what's in your head is not what comes out on your card. So I'm just trying to center it here. There we go. Okay, and then a snippity-doo-doo. Snippity-doo. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Snippity-doo. 1, 2, 3. Now you can absolutely put stuff on the back of your belly band. I don't think it's necessary, but you could always put a funny little message or something like that. Like, I don't know, if it's a birthday thing, you could always put a funny little message. Okay, so I took off that. We're going to slip this on. And again, this is why we made it slightly larger. Okay, I'm a little bit... Okay, that's way better to me. And you just got to slide it down. And of course, it's going to move anyway, right? Okay, so let's put on our topper. And you got to remember, you can't glue it to the card. You got to glue it only to the belly band, okay? So just be mindful. And then we'll pop up our kitties. Okay. So it's easier probably to do adhesive on your belly band, and you can make it just a little slightly less wide than what you're going to put your doohickey on. Okay, and then we'll put foam underneath our little boobies. Okay, foam underneath the boobies. I like the fact that you can get numerous sizes in one pack, because that makes life so much easier. And then if you need that one, will you fit? And if you need an itty bitty one, you can do an itty bitty one. And oh, I got it stuck. Okay. And then if you have to cut them down, you can do so too. Like I want one for his meow meow tail, and then I want one for the other dude's tail. There we go. Okay. Thank God for glue dots. And I'm just going to throw them off to the side. These ones are nice because the backers actually come off them. Thank goodness. Sometimes they're like really sticky. They get pressed down the sides. Okay. We have our trio of meow meows for our happy birthday card. There we go. And you know what we can do? Okay, let's bring our Copics back in. Just because so I can see it. You could you could color all of the fishes, but I'm just going to do some striped fishes. Just because I can. Striped fishes. Whee! This one's got some too. And again, this just ties in your colors. Again, to your creation. Doesn't take too long because you're just doing lines, not shading, just making them extra whimsical. You could throw in another color there too, but again, you know what, I think people forget that making cards is not only is it about the joy of handing them to somebody special or sending them to somebody special, it's about the need to create. And that's what my passion is. It's not so much giving it, although I love to give out my cards. It's about the process. It's about being tactile and having a finished project after, you know, an hour, couple hours. It's really about the love of the craft. So, and you could color the bows all pink. I think I'll do that. There we go. So, it's, you know, it's what you make it, you know. If you love it, you'll make time for it. And I do every day. I make time to do what I love, and my passion is coloring, so that's what I love to do. I'm gonna give you I'll give you a little sneak peek of something that I'm doing for one of my design teams, but shh, you can't tell anybody. So this is what I was doing this morning. So this is for a release for Sweet November stamps. And this is what I was doing this morning. Yeah. Our beach babe. So, and this is what I'm passionate about. This is a scene, like this is white cardstock. Started with white cardstock. And it's only a couple of different stamps. So this girl here, this seascape, and the seabirds, plus the sentiment. So this is my passion. I love doing this. I'm not sure if you guys are interested in doing more Copic work, if you're interested on that side, but this is what I like to do. Don't tell anybody I showed you. She's coming out in about a week and a half. Hi, Beth. Good to see you guys. So, the next time you make a card, think about doing a gatefold. Because the fun thing is that I could take either one of these bands and pretty much put it on this same card, and vice versa for my other card base. If I can find it, it's buried. So the possibilities are endless. This could be one of those cards that you make multiples of too. Like you just have a very simple card base and then make multiple different varieties of belly bands. That's where the fun is. So yes, yellow and blue because they set each other off, right? Yeah, for sure. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, and I do not have an example in front of me. Darn. I don't. Oh, hang on. I do. Hang on. Okay. So the one thing that I'm also passionate about is making interactive cards. I might have to turn off my lights for this. Okay. So I work for a company called Chibitronics. I can't turn off my other one. Okay. So I'm going to have to block the light. So I like to make cards that light up. So this happens to be a card with light up toadstools. And hang on. And this one is a birthday card. So all the candles light up. So I'm not sure if you guys are interested in doing a class where we make a light up card. So you'd buy a little kit through the store. You get probably like a stamp set and a kit with all of the things that you use to light up your card. And what we would do is we make a card together, either live or pre-recorded. Not sure if you guys are interested in doing a class like that. I'd love to know. So Anita says, what is the yellow color with the sangria? So let me turn my lights back on. I used Tiara and orange peel. So I used that same Tiara and orange peel on both and on all of that. So I'm not sure if you guys are interested in doing a class like that. So you would get a little teeny kit and it would have conductive fabric tape, would have some kind of stamp set, would have 6 LED light stickers and a couple of little watch batteries, and that's basically what the circuits are made out of. So I'll show you. I always make my cards so that you can open them up if they cooperate. This one is not going to. Okay. So the tape and the stickers and the battery, there's a battery underneath this, would all come in the kit. And then we would do something that would light up. So if you're interested in that, can you do me a favor and send a private message to this Facebook page here, the Scrap and Stamp, and say, I would be interested in a light up card class. And this would probably be like September, because Rhea has to bring in the supplies for it. And I would make it really, really easy. Like maybe 2 cards and make them very, very easy. Very, very easy circuits so it's easy to understand, easy to do. If you send her a private message through Scrap and Stamp Facebook page here, I just want to know if you guys would be interested in doing that, because then what I'll do is I'll have her bring in product for that. So, alrighty, thank you. I'd appreciate that feedback. And thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I had fun making these. You can add all kinds of bling, like this one I added stickles. You could use sequins like I did on the happy birthday. These are cute little heart sequins. This vellum, I'm not sure if you can see it. I actually put through my embossing machine, so it's got a pattern. It's textured. And see, I had my gap on the back because I didn't want it on the front because it's see-through, so I just put a heart on it. You could put to, from, or love, or whatever you wanted on there too, but it's another way to close. Sometimes I use the Velcro. I don't have any Velcro closures at the moment, but there we go. Awesome. Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you again on Sunday. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'll see you then. All right. Thanks for joining me today. Bye, guys.